Srimati Yamuna, Kamala and Indira, the seniors in the Pathekka family, were always much sought after by the grandchildren during the temple festivals as they had some unique skills. Over a dozen kids in the family loved to go along with them for the afternoon Samaradhana, the community feast, as it offered an opportunity to publicly demonstrate the skills they were trained by the trio. For the temple Samaradhana, there has been an unwritten law where people sit area-wise, as it would be easy to come out of the temple quickly after the program. For example, people residing on the western side of the Ratha Vidhi would generally sit on the western side of the Pallaki Puja Pandal. But that would be easier said than done, as it would run into one of the basic economic theories of demand and supply, creating space-related constraint in the temple. Generally, in other GSB temples, this issue would be solved by spreading an anguti, a towel, in the place where one would like to sit for the Samaradhana. It was a signal that the place was reserved by somebody. Ignoring that signal, anyone occupying that place runs the risk of running into the verbal firepower range of the owner. As has been well known, most of the GSBs were never found wanting in effortlessly picking up the choicest words to address others suiting the occasion, unconcerned on the place where they were in. Anyone getting felicitated with such verbal power need to take a dip in the nearby water pond to come clean of the muck that sticks with his mind and the body. Observing the level of specialization achieved by their parents in that art, the kids also pick up those vocabulary so effortlessly by the time they could barely speak a sentence. That learning is so easy for the kids, since they need not struggle with the issues like spellings, pronunciation, etc., as they have to do while learning English language. Unfortunately, most of the language teachers seems to be in dark of this simple language learning technique, as they continue their unscientific way of teaching language through a medium of another language. As could be seen, so obsessive were people about a particular place to sit for the Samaradhana. Reserving that place would be the first thing they would do on reaching the temple, even if that happened to be for the morning darshan. This was when Samaradhana generally would be only by 2 to 3 p.m. No wonder towels could be seen scattered all over the place in the GSB temples. But in Kochi Tirumala temple, no such practice of reserving the place was possible, at least in the Pallaki Puja Vidhi, since the Samaradhana would follow only after the customary 3 rounds of Pallaki Puja. As a matter of extreme cleanliness, the Pallaki Puja Vidhi needed to be cleared of all dirt. Thus, keeping a towel on the ground inside the Pallaki Puja Vidhi was unacceptable. Therefore, unless the predetermined place was occupied after the Pallaki Puja, one does not have a right to that place, at least temporarily. Capturing a place to sit, Staladharap as it is called in Konkani, was the most thrilling part of the Samaradhana for the kids of Kochi, and the children from the Pathekka family were no exception. The third round of Pallaki Puja was the most anxiously awaited event by them. It was there the expertise of Yamuna, Kamala and Indira was seen in full play. Not that the trio would capture places for others. What they did was a simple management technique of delegating the work to the right kids in the family. Like the seasoned managers, they ensured that not all Tom and Dickens were selected for that task. Only those who were flexible, agile, with an uncanny ability to run, jump, and lie down all at the stroke of a signal alone would be selected. The selected kids might not know a thing about the game of Coco, but they would have all the skills needed to excel in that game. The Pallaki Puja in the Tirumala Devar Temple Kochi has been a unique and spectacular sight to watch from the earliest days. It has all the paraphernalia expected of on such occasions for their Lord of the universe in the form of the deity. The first thing to come out would be two huge bass drums, 4 feet in height, kept on a moving cart, pulled and pushed by half a dozen people. The loud and booming sound of those drums could be heard far away from the temple. It would be followed by soul-stirring Nadaswaram played by artists brought from the Tamil Nadu. Holding aloft colorful, glittering Chandrapan, banner etc. would follow. Then comes the persons holding a long but strong wooden rod held horizontally to the pallaki. It would be followed by the small pallaki carrying the chakra. The temple kirtan singer and mridangam player would be followed by the big pallaki carrying the deities of Utsav of Tirumala Devar and Mahalakshmi. It would have two huge colorful umbrellas to accompany with group of priests chanting the Vedic hymns. The last thing would be again two persons holding another wooden rod. Those wooden rods were preventive mechanism to ensure that only pre-notified people with basic minimum cleanliness, Anvalpan as it is called in Konkani, gets inside the inner circle. This has been the custom in the temple. Three rounds of Pallaki Puja were mandatory. The devotees inside the temple would stand up with folded palms in deep reverence, devotion and humility for the first two rounds. But no such thing was assured during the third round when devotees would have their own priorities. Pandemonium was sure to break out in such situations, with the strong wooden rod held at the end of the Pallaki procession acting as a firewall for the procession of the Pallaki Puja. Yet, it would always be the most thrilling part of the whole program. It was here the elders of the Pathekka family were found demonstrating their experience and skills fine-tuned over the years. As the second round of the Pallaki Puja gets completed, standing at predetermined places, Srimati Yamuna, Kamala and Indira would have shortlisted the right kids for the task ahead and hold them tightly. The kids would be suitably briefed about the mission ahead, like the modern football coaches do ahead of the match. The moment the third round of Pallaki procession was seen approaching, the last minute instructions would also follow. The kids, taking up their roles in all seriousness, would stand, often like the athletes in a 100-meter race, to run ahead on hearing the sound of the air gun. The kids would surely have some increased heartbeats as the Pallaki procession nears, but they would be so focused on their task at hand, none of the wonderful moments of the procession they generally love to see would catch their eyeballs. Then, the moment they hear the elders shout, "Down, down, davre, davre," run, the way they run, jump, and lie down flat on the floor with hands and legs stretched as to the maximum extent on slots predetermined for them by the elders would be the most thrilling moments of the Samaradhana. The whole thing would be over within a fraction of a second with no video cameras to capture those thrilling moments for showing in slow motion at a later time. But the kids would complete the task with aplomb, was there to see for anyone. They would continue to lay there till other family members happily come and occupy that stretch of place captured by them. Each kid having a height of 4 feet is sure to capture a space for minimum 3 to 4 people. The kids were so selfless in their work, they would have only the satisfaction of having captured the desired place for their near and dear ones for the Samaradhana. But that satisfaction would be nothing less than the one get by winner of a gold medal in 100-meter race. In those intense moments, no one seemed to be worried about Tirumala Deva's deity being taken ahead. The place behind the Pallaki procession would appear often like a place after police lathi charge on a violent mob, with a devotee shouting either out of frustration for not getting the desired place or joy for getting it.